All right. Good morning.
Good morning,
Great to
Mr.
see you
Ram.
all here. We should get started. I think we would request Professor Meenakshi Sumli to initiate the proceedings for today.
Well, good morning, everyone. I think all the students who are participants today, along with the faculty, are looking forward to such an interactive session, and we hope that it will be an interactive session also.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Ron, for initiating such a nice thing, and it is the need of the hour. That's what we can say. Well, all students, as you are aware, we are into difficult times, and the industry is one of the places which is more or less badly affected by this present time. Now, keeping in mind that this is one of the best ways that can come up, and you can all utilize, especially the ones, those who are thinking of starting off with their own businesses, as well as any other way that it can. Any learning will not say that any learning will actually be a waste. It can, even if you're not starting off with your businesses, it will be of a help anywhere else. But yes, surely, hotel management is all to do with business and then entrepreneurship. These two things go hand in hand, and the digital marketing we are taking it will be the need of the hour, and this is where the way forward. So, keeping that in mind, we have all the panelists, and in fact, would like to thank Mr. Ron Mukherjee, who has actually given us this portal as well as this platform, which can enhance the knowledge and the skill that the students would always love to have in the present scenario. Thank you, Mr. Ron.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Professor Meenakshi. And a very good morning to everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be with you here today. I don't know if you know this, but Professor Pant and I are batchmates. Although we studied in different colleges, while Professor Pant studied in Bhubaneswar, I studied right here. Professor Bose, who was your ex-HOD of food production, was my first teacher. He taught me how to make poulet sauté laprousse and such other delights. Subsequently, I did my master's in hospitality management from UK. Then I studied net-centered computing, again at NIIT, and then also did an accelerated general management program from IHM Ahmedabad. So I have, worked in Taj Group of Hotels in hotel management. I worked with the P&O Cruises, of UK in human resources, and then I moved into training management. And after about traveling to 56 of the world's most beautiful countries in the world, I moved to NIIT to focus on digital learning products. But it all started from where you all are right now. So I have a deep sense of connection with each one of you. So today we have a few brilliant minds with me here. There is Kushal Dev Kashyap, who is the head of revenue at NIIT Digital. There is Professor Apurv Chaturvedi, who is a thought leader and a most sought after mentor in digital marketing. We have Sayan Sen, who is a product manager for NIIT Digital. So while there are many experts in this particular call, our collective expertise is useless, unless one person is actively engaged in today's session. And that one person is currently sitting in your chair and wearing your shoes. So yes, it is you who is the most critical person. This session is really not about digital marketing. This session is about how you can get new wings to take new flights in your life. That's what this session is really about. We have very inspired, 3 ideas right now. And we are all familiar with those three ideas. Idea number one is Digital India. Idea number two is Skill India. Idea number three is Atmanirbhar Bharat. In our minds, these three intersect. You can't really think about Skill India without Digital India, and you can't really think much about Digital India without Atmanirbhar Bharat. What we will discuss today straddles on all these national aspirations together, meant for each one of us. The title of this session makes it seem that it's for business persons or entrepreneurs. And you might think, I'm not a business person, but let me tell you something. The more you think like a business person today, the better it will be for you. Even employees in a company need to think like a business person, think in terms of business outcomes. The idea of a worker who doesn't care about the business outcomes is over. It's passé, it's gone, it's yesterday. Therefore, today's agenda has 4 sections. The first section is about building a business perspective. The second is your own personal perspective. You know, business perspective is out there, but your own personal perspective, we'll try to uncover what's your personal perspective, not for ourselves, but more really for you. What do I think about this? You know, the third is the digital marketing perspective. And the fourth is the training in digital marketing perspective. So these are really the 4 dimensions that we will talk about. Today's session is going to be a highly interactive session. So while we are all on Zoom, we can use the chat, we can raise hands and use the poll features, etc. So just to get warmed up, I'm going to ask you to all raise your hands once. So I want to see what it sort of looks like if you all raise your hands once. Not physically, but on this, you know, raise hands on the Zoom session. So I can sort of see whether you are, you know, playing with me or where you not. Fantastic. Super duper. Looks like everybody is raising their hands. All right. So now I'm going to just request that we have 2 quick. Okay. Now I wanted to request you that you please put hi, the word hi, H-I, hi, on the chat session, on the chat. Just put that word hi so that I can sort of see that you're playing with me, you know, that I'm not dancing to a different drummer. Fantastic. You're all with me. Some of you are saying hi, some of you are saying hey, some of you are saying H-I-G-H, hi. Fantastic. This must be the early onset of hangover, even though today is just the beginning of the weekend coming up. So fantastic, super duper, love it. Now we're going to play the poll game a little bit, and I'm going to request that the first of the 2 poll questions be put up now, so that we can sort of see whether you're playing along with me or not. So in which year did COVID-19 start? Just select an answer so that, you know, I know you are playing the game with me. All righty, super duper. All of you are answering. It looks like a fantastic thing. Okay, super duper. Some of you are not playing, you know. Sometimes, you know, when I have seen that if in Zoom sessions, people are asked to, you know, participate, they think that I'm not being asked to participate. Maybe somebody else who's in some other, you know, room or device is being asked. When I'm saying you, I'm actually talking to you only. All righty. So it looks like quite a few. Let's move to the next polling question, just to get warmed up, you know. Let's get our polling fingers a little warmed up. So the next question, please. All right, which country won the 1984 Cricket World Cup? All righty, moment of joy. Yes, Siraj, it is India indeed. Somebody said Australia, fantastic. West Indies, lovely. Yeah. I'm guessing most of you would have not been born at that particular point in time, so it's historical information for you guys. So great. So I think we have sufficiently warmed up. We know what the context is, how we are going to play the game, etc. So So as we go through the session, if you have questions, there is a questions screen. Just keep putting your questions there and we will pick it up either in the flow of the program or right at the end when the Q&A session is going on, and answer them at that time. So please do participate. Participate means do listen, participate in the polls, write something in the chat if we request you to do so, so that even though we are not together with each other, we feel that we are really together in the same room. With that said, I would now request Kushal Dev Kashyap to take it on from here. Let's have a great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ron, for a very energetic introduction. Love the way you got everybody engaged, and thank you so much, guys, for joining this early on a Friday morning and not being sleepy.
Just 1 second. Aarti is saying that Professor Ghai is saying that she's not being able to hear. Is everybody able to hear me? Just I want a show of hands. How many of you are being able to hear me? Just yes. Okay.
Perfect.
So not sure why Professor Ghai you're not being able to hear me. Just we'll look into that. Perhaps there's a snag. Sorry about that. Let's get back into the session again.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ron. And as I was saying, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this early on a Friday morning. I could not fathom getting up this early on a Friday morning for a session when I was in college. And yes, as Ron mentioned, the weekend has already started for most of us. But again, we're going to talk about some interesting stuff. We're going to talk about, as Ron said, about giving you wings, about talking about methods and technologies and skills which can help you develop not just a fortune for yourself, but also help in the progress of the nation right now. And yes, there are three things which were mentioned by Ron, which was Skill India, Digital India, and the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. But none of that will fly off unless we have a youthful exuberance. Just 1 second. Let me just see if the slide is working. Yeah. None of that would work unless we have a youthful fire of entrepreneurship in the youth of the country. I just wanted to float a question and ask all of you, how many of you out there in this audience have at least once in your life thought about starting up on your own? Ever crossed your mind? Wow, we have a lot of people raising hands on that. So that's great. Wow, that's at least half of you have, at least. Great. Wow, we still have more people coming in. And you know what? I think for any country, for any society, for any institute to become legendary, this is the most important thing. Unless people in their 20s have the desire to get a change, to make something, to create something which lasts more than their lifetime, we can't have a great society around us. Let me tell you something about India. India right now is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. Every day in the country, there are 10 to 12 new startups. When I say new startups, it's not new companies being registered. If you talk about new companies being registered, that would go into early hundreds. But when I say 10 to 12 startups, is companies which are a lifespan of more than a year. At least 10 to 12 companies or startups are born every day in the country. The days in which our parents lived, when the best case scenario in life was to get a job, serve for the 30 years remaining in your life, and retire from the same organization, those days are gone. Today's world is characterized by ever-changing digital technologies, young entrepreneurs which have very evolving ideas, which eventually formulate into startups of their own. Another another insight I want to share with you is that currently most of the startups which get born in the country are done by engineering students or are done by engineering graduates. But what we realize, in our conversations with the Planning Commission, in our conversations with the NIIT Aayog, we've understood that as the disposable income in the country is growing, we see a larger number of people focusing on different careers. If you look at 2 decades back, doctors and engineers used to be the most sought after careers. It's not the case right now. And we feel that trade schools like IHM are probably going to be the new hotspot from where the new age startups in the food industry, in the hospitality industry, in the confectionery business, in the beverage industry would come out. And thus, today we have decided that this is the first session we are doing. So, this session which we are doing with you is one of the many initiatives we want to do with different trade schools of the country. But we felt in our own understanding that probably IHM Pusa is going to be the premier hotspot, and let's go and talk to their students first. Talking about all of this, every day 10 to 12 startups are born. India is the third largest ecosystem. In the next 5 years, we are on the trajectory to become the largest startup ecosystem in the world. Yet most of these startups which are born in the country, 90% of them fail in the first year. 90% of them fail in the first 5 years, and 73% of them fail in the first year. Any idea why does that happen? I would request you to answer in the chat box. What do you think is the reason that startups fail? We have a group of very talented individuals out there. We have a group of very dedicated individuals out there. What is the main reason that startups fail? Okay. So Sneh says they give up really soon. Chirag says it's competition. Jaideep says it's because of bad planning, lack of management, funding, improper knowledge is what Saloni says. Skills is what Haroon says. Anybody else? Lack of experience. Okay. Impatience is what Divya says. Lack of funds, Mayank. So I'll tell you what. When we talk about the third largest startup ecosystem, India has the second best angel network around the world. It's not really capital which makes startups fail. It's not really lack of planning which makes startup fail. It's not also lack of skills. If you look at the way Indians and Southeast Asians work in the world, they are one of the most skilled peoples. In your vicinity, you sometimes find restaurants which are providing very, very traditional, very exquisite dishes, but you see that 6 months down the line, you go and visit that place, they're no more there. So it's not really skills, it's not really the product, it's not the service as well. 90%, and actually we've written 90%, but it's way above, it's late 90% of the startups in India fail because they are unable to acquire customers. They have a good offering, they have decent money to start up with, they have a decent fund to keep them running for 6 months to a year also. But in that period of 6 months to a year, they are unable to get requisite customers to have the cash flow flowing. And when these organizations, when these startups are unable to do that, they fail. And why does that happen? If you look at when we were in school, or when we were, in our early years of life, we would see that the same restaurant we would go to on our birthday, the same restaurant we would go to on our mother and father's anniversary, on the same restaurant we'll go when we scored good marks in our examinations, to the same restaurant we'll go when we have a guest coming into our house and we want to take them out. Customer acquisition used to be a localized affair. You would go, you would visit outlets, you would visit shops, you would visit businesses which were in close proximity to where you stayed. That is not the case today. When I offer a t-shirt today, I offer from a store which probably has a warehouse somewhere in Uttarakhand. When I offer food today from Zomato, I sometimes offer from a restaurant which is 10 kilometers away from my place. Even when I order medicines online, it sometimes comes from warehouses which are outside the city I live in. Right? In the digital age, the more important thing is that you are able to acquire customers digitally. When somebody searches you online, they get your name first. When somebody goes to an aggregator, you are listed on top. If you're able to crack that, you will be able to evade failure to a larger extent. And today, what we're going to talk about is that how young entrepreneurs like you can evade failure and thus increase the chances of success. So, especially to the girls who are attending this, have you ever heard of the W stores? That W mark shops you see, or, oh wow, yeah, we have a lot of hands being risen. Great, great, great. Oh wow, a lot of boys have also heard of it. Great, yeah. So you know when did I hear of this store? So my mother and my sister, and now my wife as well. So they are shopaholics, you know, and I am the designated driver for them. And especially in the Corona period, you know, they're very dependent on me, or they used to be very dependent on me earlier. And this store was something which had 2-3 outlets around where I live in South Delhi. And every month, you know, there would be one weekend when it would be my responsibility to take everybody out, and they would shop. You know, they would shop a lot, but the frequency would be limited to when I can take them out. And why do I talk about W stores and why have I taken this particular example is because I've seen a sea of difference in the way the shopping you know, exercise has changed in my own household. So W Stores is owned by a company called TCNS. It's an old company. You know, it was founded in 2002 as a startup. It was doing good. It started opening its stores. It had a national network, and it became, you know, a 10 billion rupee valued company. So when I say a 10 billion rupee, it's almost 1,000 crore valued organization. They had a very you know, linear growth which they were having across the year. So they were adding stores, there were more people who were visiting those stores, and they were having a linear growth. So I'll show you how that growth looked like. So from 2002 up till 2017, when there was a larger dependence on me that I had to take my folks out to shop, they were growing linearly. In 2017, Mr. Pasricha, who's the promoter of this company, he realized that just being on the physical store side is not giving me the growth that I would have envisaged. And this guy decided that now I'm going to list my products on all websites available on the internet. So now you can find W Store apparels on Amazon. You can find W Store apparels on Flipkart. You can find W Store's apparel on Snapdeal. You can find W Store's apparel on their own website, on their own portal. Once you visit their store, they keep sending you customized messages. They keep sending you links from where you can view the new collection. You can view the summer collection. You can view the winter collection. You can view the autumn fall collection. And what I realized was my folks started asking me less to drive them to the market. But the credit cards I had given them started having a larger expenditure every month. And every time the doorbell would ring, I would realize that there is some courier package which is coming to my house, you know, something which is addressed to my sister, something which is addressed to my mother, something which is addressed to my wife now. And I said, यार ये हफ्ते में तुम्हारे 5 पैकेट आ रहे हैं, ये हो क्या रहा है लाइफ में? And I realized that these people were so engrossed in their you know, affinity to the brand that there would be at least 3 W Store packages coming to my house every week. There were other brands also, but there were at least 3 W Store packages coming every week to my house. And thus I realized that what can I learn from this organization? You can start a business, you can offer great products, and you can serve a linear number of customers. You will initially also get customers. Let's say you open a restaurant. Initially, for the first 1-2 months, you'll have your friends, your families, your acquaintances. You know, you'll do a lot of halabu, and you'll have some people coming in. But can you grow your customer base beyond that? Can you keep growing your customer base based on physical interaction with the brand? Should there be a digital marketing strategy? Yes. I saw this company growing from 1,000 crore valuation. They had reached 1,000 crore valuation in 16 years. And from 1,000 crores to 3,000 crores, they grew in 3 years. And the only thing that was dependent, that this growth was dependent on, was their ability to get customers online. And I am a true witness to that story because of, the anecdotes I told you about my family. Now again, Sayan, I'll just pass it on to you. Let's have some questions and get the perspective of our students.
Before we do that, I'd request those panelists who are not speaking to switch off their videos, please. There's a certain recording which needs to go to the chairman.
Oh, sorry.
So Professor Chaturbedi, you'd also have to switch off the video. And Sayan, you can remain. Kushal, you can.
I'll switch it off.
Hey, thanks, Kushal, for sharing your insights on entrepreneurship and for sharing the amazing story of the W stores. So now we will have some food for thought. I will ask a few questions to all of you, and these questions will have a few options. For each of these questions, there you can select only one option, or you can select multiple options. So that written just under the questions. So here's how we will do it. I will read out the question and the options, and then I will count from 1 to 5. And within that time span, you need to submit your answers. After that, I'll go to the next question. So are we ready to go? Hello? I don't see anything in the chat box. No yes, no raising hands. Okay, great. Fine. So let's quickly start. So this is our first question. Have you decided which business to start after graduation? Please select only one answer. And the options are yes, I have decided which business to start. No, I have not decided which business to start, though I want to start a business. And the third option is I don't want to start business. So now I'll quickly count from 1 to 5.
Guys, do it on the polling, not on the chat. Just select it on the polling, not on the chat, please. And move on, please, Sayan.
Yeah. So let's go to the next question. And the question is how you plan to fund or finance your business. Please select only one of the options. The first option is take money from parents and relatives. The second option is take a loan from the bank. Third option is take help from angel investors. Fourth option is I have not decided. And the fifth option is I don't want to start a business. So we need to answer a little more quickly, friends. So let's go to the next question. Have you identified your target customers? Please select only one answer. And the options are yes, I have identified my target customers. No, I have not identified my target customers, though I want to start a business. And the third option is I don't want to start a business. So let's quickly have the answers. Great. Now we move to the next question. Now, this is a great question. What can be the biggest challenges for your business to grow? And in this case, you can select more than one option. I repeat, you can select more than one option. And the options are as follows. In this question, you can select more than one option. And the options are, I do not have enough money to grow my business. I do not have a strategy or a plan to grow my business. I do not have the skills or the capabilities to grow my business. I do not have the technologies to grow my business. I do not know how to get customers. And the last option is I don't want to start a business. So let's quickly have the answers. You can select the more than one options. I can see that many people are not participating in the polls. So please do participate, and whatever comes to your mind, please select that option. So I'm ending the poll now. And thanks to all of you for your answers. Now I invite Kushal to share his insights on how digital marketing can enable aspiring entrepreneurs like you. Over to you, Kushal.
Thanks a ton, Shayan. And there's a very strong observation that I have made here. You guys can hear me, right? Shayan, you can hear me,
Yeah,
right?
we can hear you.
Guys, there's a very strong observation I made here. Most of you, I would say 80% of the responses that we heard or we got, you want to start a business. And that's something which is very insightful for us as trainers as well. We had expected a lesser number of people. We expected that when we go to a trade school, probably 40% of the people would actually have considered starting up on their own. This is actually a very promising thing, and thus what I'm going to talk about right now becomes even more important. And I'll try to give you as many insights as possible as to how digital marketing is not just important but crucial for ensuring that your business gets successful. And I would request each one of you to just pay very strong attention for the next 15 minutes, and we'll take it from there. There are 5 things you're going to talk about. There are 5 things which are very important for any digital-led business. The first and the foremost thing is that you need to improve your discoverability. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. अगर दिखोगे नहीं तो बिकेगा नहीं तुम्हारा product या service, no matter how good it is. You need to create brand awareness. अगर लोगों को पता ही नहीं होगा what do you stand for, what are you selling, no matter how much discoverable you are, you will still not sell. You remember looking at certain ads in televisions जो बहुत बारी आती हैं. You see that ad that comes and it goes, it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. You have no idea वो ad किस चीज की थी. Ever felt that? Ever felt that? Great. Great. So it's very important that your brand awareness is there. Thirdly, and probably the most important thing, is that you eventually need to generate leads. Leads क्या होती हैं? Leads are contact details of people who can become your potential customers. No ad campaign, no digital marketing campaign, or no any kind of marketing campaign is successful unless it leads to people coming to your store, your website, your portal, your link. They have to come somewhere, right? If leads are not generated, all money, all effort that you spend on marketing is a waste. Fourth most important thing, and something which is very important to have a long-term successful business, is that you should have a good customer engagement. A customer should be able to tell you what he or she wants. The customer should be able to tell you how satisfied he is or she is with your products or services. The customer should be able to give you feedback on how to become better. only then will you be able to eventually build brand loyalty for those customers about your brand, right? You go to any good restaurant, you go to any 5-star hotel, the manager would come down after you've had your meal and ask you, was it good? Did you like it? Anything you would like us to change? You go to an even better restaurant, the chef would come down. He'll ask you if it's roasted to a level you would have liked it to or not. You go to a very good salon to get your hair cut, after every 5 minutes, he'll ask you, is it going correct? Do you want something changed? Do you like the texture? Do you like the length? It's very important that the customer gets engaged with the brand. Eventually, when all of that happens, the customer becomes loyal to your brand. And now we're going to talk about each one of these things individually. How do you improve your discoverability? As I said, jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. But dikhna kidhar hai? When we were young, the stores around us would put big billboards outside so that when you're going past them, you can see them. You'll have billboards in a 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius so that okay, McDonald's is aage se left. When you go on a highway, you see somebody saying, a Haldiram's is 2 kilometers on your left side. Take this exit. But that's not how majority of businesses can be improving the discoverability now. It's not about a physical address anymore. It's not about. It's more about a digital address. It's more about how much they can drive traffic to their online presence. Now, when I feel hungry and I want to have pizza, I would say pizza outlets around me. If something is not coming up in the first 4-5 search listings, then it's as good as not being present. When we were in college, we used to have a joke. We used to say, agar aapko kabhi koi dead body hide karni hai na, hide it on the second page of Google. You would have never gone and searched something and then probably gone to page 2 of Google and seen the search results there. If you're not in the first 7, 8, 9, 10 results, you are dead. It's very important that in the digital space, you are discoverable. And being discoverable is not just having a website. Being discoverable is more about being searchable on search engines. You are able to do that by primarily 2 methods. One is the organic method, which is called search engine optimization. When we say search engine optimization, we make the content on our portal, the content on our website, the content on our landing pages to be in sync with what people are searching. If I know people are searching for a pepperoni pizza, I will put pepperoni multiple times in my website itself. If I know I'm in a locality or I'm in a place where people are searching for vegan food very often, I would put vegan directly in my website at key places. I would have headers, I would have pages named vegan food so that by default, Google puts me in a higher rank when the search algorithm runs. The second thing in the way you can improve your discoverability or the discoverability of your brand is called search engine marketing. Ever search for something and ऊपर वो 2 links आते हैं sponsored वाले? Seen that, guys? The 2 sponsored links which come on the top? That's called search engine marketing. That's people paying money to be coming in the sponsored links. If you want to be discoverable, you need to do both these things. And yes, you need to do Google ads also. You need to do Facebook marketing also. You need to do social media marketing on Instagram also. You need to do multiple things. But the foremost thing is that you need to be seen. And now when you're seen, people should be aware of your brand. People should know what you stand for. People should know what you provide. People should know the services that you offer. People should know the kind of causes that you stand for so that they can have an emotional attachment to you as well, right? And what's the place to do that? The place to do that majorly is on social media. Why? Because a majority of your customers and consumers spend a sizable time of their day on social media. And that's why you see most emerging businesses have very active social media handles. You ping them on Facebook, they'll reply within an hour, right? It's very important that you keep having an engaging content on different social media channels. You can have brand building campaign also. You know how brand building campaigns work? Ever seen the 8 half marathon? Somebody who knows about the 8 half marathon which happens every year? You see that, right? We run in that. Now, what does Airtel do with such campaigns? It just ensures that a couple of thousand people, 20, 30,000 people actually come and run. They become aware of the brand. They become, they get emotionally attached to the brand. They prepare for months to run in that marathon. Every day they think about Airtel half marathon, Airtel half marathon. When they post pictures or when they post कि आज मैंने सुबह practice करी 5 किलोमीटर भागने की, आज मैंने 8 किलोमीटर साइकिलिंग करी, आज मैंने 10 किलोमीटर भागा, I'm getting better, preparing for the Airtel half marathon. Then they pose with a medal out there saying finisher in the Airtel half marathon. The brand building happens in these manners. And that's exactly what each brand needs to do. Right? The most important thing, how do you generate leads? Eventually, सब कुछ कर लिया, but उसके बाद अगर आप एयरटेल के स्टोर पे नहीं जा रहे हो, अगर आप एयरटेल का प्लान नहीं ले रहे हो, then Airtel is not benefiting, right? The most important thing for any business is to generate leads. And how does that happen? As I mentioned, there are primarily two ways in which you generate leads: organic and inorganic. In the organic manner, you try to build a brand, you try to make your website better, you try to get more people, you try to use affiliate channels from which people just come onto your website because there is something very catchy out there, right? The second thing is the inorganic way. In the inorganic way, you pay money, you run Google ads, you run display ads, you run social media ads, you do search engine marketing, you can do multiple things to get your brand being shown. And it's not just about increasing your visibility, it's not just about getting more leads, it's also about understanding which channels are working for you. अगर आप एक जगह पे 10,000 rupees लगा रहे हो to get some leads और दूसरी जगह पे भी 10,000 rupees लगा रहे हो, यहाँ से आपको 10,000 के बदले you're getting 5 lakh rupees revenue, यहाँ से you're getting 1 lakh rupee revenue. You should understand, right, कि मुझे अगला 10,000 इधर लगाना है, इधर नहीं लगाना है. Unless you are able to get that insight, you will not be able to better your marketing, you'll not be able to better your revenues, you'll not be able to better your profitability. And thus you use tools like Google Analytics to help you monitor कि आपका किधर से कितना lead आ रहा है, उससे कितना return आ रहा है on investment, how many, what's your cost per lead, what's the cost of customer acquisition. To know all of that, it's very important that you're able to use tools like Google Analytics. And that's one tool. There are multiple other tools in the ambit as well. Now, how do you increase customer engagement, and why do you increase customer engagement for that matter? As we were discussing earlier, it is very important that the customers are able to tell you. You should learn from your customers because that's the segment that you are catering to. That's the segment you are servicing. Unless you are able to get to the actual understanding of what they like, what they dislike, how much they like, how much is too much. We've reached a point where brands even ask you, are we bothering you too much with our advertisements? Are we calling you too much? Do you want to unsubscribe from our campaigns? When you go to a tailor, the tailor comes back and calls you कि sir एक बार आप अपनी एक fitting के लिए आ जाओ. Now you come for the second fitting. Now you come for the final fitting. It just ensures, or it shows us that that person is so much more interested in ensuring that I get a good service, I get a good offering out of what he's providing me. And as we mentioned, especially in the hospitality industry, customer engagement is very important. I was staying at the Oberoi hotels a couple of days. Just one second. Right. So Kapil, you correctly mentioned hospitality comes in work in terms of customer engagement. Definitely. Yeah. Hospitality as an industry is an industry where customer engagement is very important. It's very important. See, I'll tell you, you go stay in a hotel. You pay 30,000 rupees for a night staying in that hotel. There are two things the hotel can do. The hotel can let you be yourself, and probably, you'll be there, you'll go there, you'll get bored. Next time you would not want to come there. Or the hotel, when you come in, they have a very good engaging thing. Just when you enter, they welcome you. They tell you that this is a plethora of things that you can do at the resort. These are the things that you can do at dinner. There is a special engagement that's happening. There's a ballroom party at 8 o'clock. You probably get a phone call telling you the ballroom party is going to start. You get a phone call saying that, we are starting a trek. Do you want to come in and join the party? if the hotel does that, if it's engaging, if you go to the restaurant, eat food, the chef comes out, probably asks you कि आपको अच्छा लगा नहीं लगा, you say यार नहीं इसमें ये better हो सकता है, he takes it back, gets you another one, you like it better, you are more likely to revisit that property again. So customer engagement is super important when it comes to hospitality. Right, Kapil, I hope I've answered your question. Now, as we mentioned, continuous customer engagement is very important for long-term business success. As I was telling you about the W stores, वो नई collection launch बाद में करते हैं, मेरी बीवी के पास message पहले आ जाता है कि इधर जाके आप देख सकते हो नई collection, right? उसको ये भी पता है कि मैं कितने लोगों को वो मैसेज भेजता हूँ एंड उसमें से कितने लोग उस पर एक्चुअली क्लिक करते हैं. जो लोग उस पर क्लिक करते हैं those are higher potential customers. So you are able to understand that. You are able to get, so if you know, I kind of shop for a specific kind of electronics. I went to Amazon, I searched for a TV, it was not available. Amazon messages me or emails me after 5 days saying that TV is now available. Do you want to buy it? I go back and I buy it. It is very important that we as businesses are super eager and super proactive to ensure that customer engagement is happening. I'll give you an example. Do you guys use Zomato? Do you guys use Zomato? Okay, yeah. Everybody uses Zomato. Perfect. You know, Zomato has come out with these new quirky advertisements and they keep sending you push notifications. Okay, आज Friday है, आज मम्मी को खाना मत बनाने दो. आज Saturday है, आज order out करो. क्या आपके घर में? Do you have a party tonight? Let's try Chinese today. They keep sending you these push messages every day. And to be very honest, last weekend on a Saturday, Zomato sent me a message saying, "Aaj Saturday hai, mummy ki khana banane se chutti honi chahiye." And I was like, "Wow!" And I was sitting with my mom, like, "Mom, aaj khana banao, aaj bahar se order kar lete hain." It becomes very important because people take impulsive decisions, people take emotionally driven decisions, especially when the communication is targeted towards them. And thus, customer engagement on a continuous level becomes very important. And there are a lot of tools you can use, there are a lot of skills you can use, there are a lot of channels you can use to better customer engagement. And finally, when you've done all of that, when you've spent money, when you've spent time, when you've spent effort, you want to have people be loyal to your brand. And I'll give you an example. So, you know, brand loyalty is like any other form of loyalty. After a point of time, as a business, if you want to be sustainable, you don't want to be spending an exuberant amount of effort, money, and time to get customers. You want people to come back to you repeatedly also. You want customers to be loyal to you. You know, the kind of effort you spend in wooing your partner when in college, you know, either your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you spend a lot of effort, right? You call them every day, every night, you get roses for them. You do multiple things. Every time you meet them, you get chocolates for them. You do everything, right? You're trying to woo them initially. Can you do that every day of your life till you're 80? No, right? At 50, if, you know, let's say my mom tells my dad, "Kya dekho, ab aap mere liye chocolate nahi late, ab main koi aur dhoond lungi." You know, that's a very difficult thing to do, right? For my dad. You can't expect that. And after a point of time, you need things to happen by itself. I'll give you an example again. अगर अभी बैठे बैठे मेरे दिमाग में एकदम से आए कि यार पिज्जा ऑर्डर करते हैं, by default in my head the first name which would come would be Domino's. Just by default, पिज्जा खाना है Domino's चलते हैं. By default, चाट खानी है हल्दीराम चलते हैं. Normally कहीं पे डिनर करने चलना है, चलो अब्रॉय चलते हैं. Now these are brands which have done a lot of effort to probably acquire me in the first place, but now they have built brand loyalty or they have earned my loyalty towards them. And that is what every brand expects. It's something what W Stores has also done. Now, if my wife goes to GK, she has to visit that store once at least. You know, and it's very important that brands are able to do that. Because har baar utna effort karna is not possible. And it's very important that we as entrepreneurs are able to track कि people हमारे brand के बारे में, हमारे organization के बारे में, हमारी offering के बारे में, हमारी services के बारे में कितने loyal हैं. And there are tools to measure that. You have customer relationship management tools. There are techniques which tell you that if somebody has come to your brand, has repeatedly come to your brand, what's the total expenditure they would do in their entire lifetime on your brand. There's something called as lifetime value of every customer. कि अगर मैं डोमिनोज से पिज्जा खाता हूँ तो शायद अपनी पूरी जिंदगी में मैं 5 लाख के पिज्जा खा लूंगा, including me, birthdays, parties, ये वो, every year, my kids' birthdays, when that will happen. Probably Domino's has listed Kushal Dev Kashyap as कि हाँ यार अपनी पूरी जिंदगी में till the time he knows us, we know him, he'll probably eat 5 lakh rupees of pizza or order 5 lakh rupees of pizza, right? There is also something known as online reputation management. Since the presence of brands is essentially digital nowadays, it's also very important to understand for brands. Yes, Kapil, as you mentioned, loyalty is the best investment. It's the best investment. Since the presence is digital primarily, there are a lot of things being spoken about brands also. You know, one day my Airtel connection goes off, I tweet saying Airtel pathetic service. You know, it's been 48 hours, my internet connection has not been restored. I went to this outlet today, bad food, bad customer service. Or I, you know, get very happy with the brand. You know, I went to the Oberoi Resorts, great hospitality, great view. Brands need to understand what is being talked about them on the internet. And there are online reputation management tools and techniques, which are also very important to be learned by entrepreneurs to be used for their own business. Because entrepreneurs who are not cognizant of what is being spoken about their brand or them on the digital space eventually fail. You know, Zomato का जो founder था, in the first 5 years of its existence, he followed everybody on Twitter who was following him. He followed everybody. He said, मुझे जानना है मेरे ब्रांड के बारे में लोग क्या बात कर रहे हैं. मुझे हर चीज जाननी है मेरे ब्रांड के बारे में जो बोली जा रही है. It's that kind of a thing that ensured Zomato is a bigger brand, is a sustained brand as compared to, let's say, a Food Panda which died off. Right? Great. Now, you know, I've taught you a lot about theory. I've taught you what things matter. I've taught you about, you know, what kind of tools and techniques you can use. Now back to Shayan and Apurv, who are going to talk to you about some practical applications and some use cases of where digital marketing has helped certain brands and where it's not worked as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kushal, for wonderfully overlaying the 5 broad aspects by which digital marketing can enable entrepreneurship. And now I invite Professor Apurv Chaturvedi, who is a known thought leader in the field of digital marketing, to share few practical applications of digital marketing. So over to you, Apurv. I think you will need to share your screen.
Yes, Sayan. So thanks a lot, Sayan, and I welcome all the students of IHM Delhi. And just as Mr. Ron shared a connection with all of you, I share a mutual connection and some very fond memories of the place. So this is, by the way, oh, this is not part of the module. What is this? This is my neighborhood in Pusa Institute, where I spent good 23 years of my life. And that's my father in the middle. So he worked there, he joined there as Chief Administrative Officer. And also happened to work at IASRI, which is the building just adjacent to yours. So yeah, kind of really fond memories of the place, and delighted to be taking this session for you. So one of the key things in digital marketing is basically keeping your eyes and ears open. Okay, so what are your competitors up to? What type of organic and paid campaigns they are running? Who are your competitors? And basically eavesdropping on all the conversations that are happening, not only around you, your brand, your product and services, but also your competitors. What is the consumer sentiment? What are the marketing opportunities that you can leverage? So I'm going to use a couple of practical examples, couple of tools to illustrate that. And at the same point, what I would emphasize is digital marketing should always be kept keeping in mind what are the needs and requirements of the customers. So this is basically what we call as customer-centric approach. And we'll start with a tool called Social Pilot. Now, Social Pilot is one of the most popular social listening and publishing tools. So from a centralized ecosystem or a platform, you can publish across different types of digital marketing channels or mediums, your brand pages across social networks. And this is more of a time and cost effective way of working. We'll also be covering another popular social listening and publishing tool, or you can say digital marketing automation tool. It's called Hootsuite. It's one of the most popular tools in basically small to medium sized businesses, as well as for freelancers, budding entrepreneurs. Okay, so I'll quickly start with Hootsuite. And the first thing I would show you is how you can set up your social brand pages across Hootsuite to monitor them and publish across them. Okay, so first of all, from bottom left hand side, I'm going to go ahead and click my profile icon, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add my social networking profiles on Hootsuite. So I'm just going to go over here and click social networks and teams. And you can already see I've added a few social networking profiles over here. Okay. Now, if I want to add another social networking profile or a brand page that I have across social networks, I can simply go ahead and click private account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when I do that, these are the social networks that we can add and basically monitor through Hootsuite. So what I'm going to do is I'll start with the most popular social network of all, which is Facebook. And I'm going to go ahead and click Facebook over here. Now, obviously, you'll have a trial version with a very limited functionality for a few days to explore these tools. You can buy, professional licenses, and as you go around adding more brand pages across these platforms, you would have to pay additional cost for that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add. Now, since I'm already logged into Facebook, it has identified all the brand pages that I have on Facebook. I can also go ahead and add these groups. Now, for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add, let's say, Adding Digital Factory. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click add over here. And once I do that, this profile, this page on Facebook has been added to the Hootsuite ecosystem. I'm going to go ahead and click done to commit the changes. And then again, let me just reposition this over here. And I'm going to add it to my Approve account. I'll click done again to commit my changes. And you can see the page has been added over here. If I want, I can add further accounts, more multiple accounts over here. So let's go ahead and add LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn earlier had a support to add groups. Now, you can only add LinkedIn pages and showcase pages as well as your LinkedIn profile. So you can see I have connected my brand page, my company page. I have two companies, Adding Digital Factory and Ads Creative Works. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Ads Creative Works over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click commit save, click done to commit the changes. So you can see over here, we have added multiple social networking accounts. Now let me reposition this somewhere over here. Okay, now let's say first thing I would highly recommend to use Hootsuite for is social listening. What is social listening? Basically, it is all about, keeping your eyes and ears open, eavesdropping on what people are talking about you, your brand, your product and services. All right, eavesdropping on all the conversations that are happening around your industry, and identifying the consumer moments. If a consumer is in need, you can identify those conversations, join the conversation, help them in a particular situation. And when the moment is right, make a soft pitch. Okay, the idea behind this is positioning yourself as a thought leader, as a guru. Okay, so as and when people have some want to find out some information, you can provide that information. Somebody wants to know, find out about a recipe. Maybe you can join the conversation and help them with the recipe. Somebody wants to know what is the best pizza joint. in their neighborhood. Maybe if you have a franchisee, you can reach out and share that information. Okay, so what we are going to do is, first of all, I'll go to the section over here, the fourth button from top. This is called screens. You can also call it columns. I'm just going to go over here and click screens. Once I do that, basically it will show me some of the columns over here. These columns are called screens. So it is going to show me these columns over here by default. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete them for now. I like to, create a customized ecosystem. So first of all, I would like to analyze my brand's performance across social. For that, I'm going to go ahead over here to top and click new board. So once I click new board, I'm going to call it, I'm going to double click to rename it, and I'll call this tab or board our performance. Now this is where I'm going to add all my social profiles, social brand pages. So from this right hand side, I'm going to select get started. From this section, browse all screens. So let me go ahead and click get started. Now you can see over here, we have an option to add screens. We have a drop down menu over here. From this drop down menu, I can select multiple social profiles. So these are some of the profiles I've added. So with a base level paid account of Hootsuite, you can add up to 10 social networking profiles. So let's say I want to select Twitter only. And I'm going to create a column where I can see all the feeds on my home page. So I'm going to go ahead and click home for now. It will create a column or a screen. And these are the feeds from the accounts that I'm following on Twitter. I can keep, without visiting Twitter, I can just, have a bird's eye view of all my social networking profiles this way. Then I would also like to create a column for mentions. So every time my account is mentioned on Twitter, or somebody replies to it, I would like it to be displayed over here. Okay. Likewise, every time basically somebody retweets me, I would like to show them over here in this dedicated stream or column. Or the retweets that have been made by me, those would also be displayed over here. Okay. Then I would like to create a stream for all my followers. So these are all my followers. Now in Twitter, you have a functionality where you can create a list for different types of customer segments or targeted personas. So you can select from the lists. You have an option over here. So I have multiple lists, digital marketing, competitors, so digital advertising companies. Okay, so creative professionals. I can simply select any of these lists and see what they are tweeting. So I'm going to go ahead and select competitors for now. And all my competitors, what they are publishing would be displayed to me in this particular screen. Likewise, I can look at all the likes over here that I'm receiving on, basically either I'm liking a tweet or I'm receiving likes. They would be displayed in this dedicated screen. My tweets, so I'll create a screen for my tweets as well. Now I'll go back to the drop down menu. At a time, you cannot have more than 10 screens. Okay, if you want to go beyond that, perhaps you should consider creating a new board. So now I would also like to display my LinkedIn personal profile page, and I'll click my updates. So all the updates that I'm publishing on LinkedIn would be displayed over here. And similarly, all the posts that I'm publishing through my LinkedIn company page, I'm going to select the updates for that, and those would be displayed in a separate screen. And basically, if I just scroll or pan through this, you can easily pan through this left and right. And basically, all these points over here that you see, all these, basically, you can like, retweet, engage, comment. These are all interactive tweets that you're seeing over here. So you can simply, if you want, you can go ahead and like any of the tweets. You can retweet them. You can respond to them. All of these are interactive. So you can basically manage your social, complete brand presence, social brand presence from a dedicated ecosystem like Hootsuite. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another board over here. And this time I'm going to simply call it our competitors. Now, if you're basically starting a business, the first thing you would be doing is performing some competitive research, identifying who are your competitors in the industry. Okay, so you can do some level of due diligence at your end, identify some competitive research. You can also do it through digital marketing, which obviously we teach, NIIT teaches it in its courses. So you can visit their multiple competitive research tools like SEMrush, Moz, then you have basically Alexa, which has been acquired by Amazon. So you can visit any of these websites and perform an in-depth competitive research over there. So let me see if I can show you quickly. This is SEMrush. Okay, so on SEMrush, let's say I want to find out about a chain, a fast food chain, or maybe an aggregator business, something like Zomato. So what I can do is simply go ahead and type in Zomato over here, and you can find all the details related with Zomato. So which websites are driving traffic and attention to Zomato? What are the competitors, identical competitors like Zomato? Okay, so you can identify. Now these websites that are driving traffic to Zomato, they're linking to Zomato. These are marketing opportunities for you too. You can, reach out to these websites, publish identical content, and ask them to share your content on their website. This is apparently what we call as off-page search engine optimization. This would increase your website's ranking on Google and other search engines. So over here, what I can do is I can simply go ahead and select compare domains. And when I do that, I'll get a very exhaustive list of different competitors. So SEMrush would automatically suggest us brands or businesses that are related to Zomato. And we can basically, you would have to buy a premium account. Once you do that, you can go ahead and compare all these basically competitors that you may have. You can do it for, McDonald's or any other fast food chain, Fuzzy Cafe. So, and then the tools like SEMrush, Moz Pro, Alexa, they do provide you with a lot of content ideas, Uber Suggest. So let me go back to Hootsuite over here. Now I've created a list of some of the competitors. And these are again from, some of the popular fast food chains in India. So as well as some of the businesses from the industry like Dine Out, Swiggy, Zomato. So what you can do is you should keep an eye on what type of organic and paid campaigns they are running across social networks, what type of content they are publishing. And then maybe you can pass on all this information to your content development team, to your product development, or the concerned teams in your company, and they can build better products, better experiences, and keeping in mind the customer-centric approach. Not only that, you can go through all the conversation people are having across their social brand pages. Then again, you will get a better idea of the consumer sentiment. So what problems consumers are facing, what grievances they are raising, what pain points or issues they are facing, and you can create a very exhaustive list of FAQs that consumers, the type of questions that consumer ask from your competitors, and this list you can pass on to your team. Then your team can create. You can engage with in-house subject matter experts, thought leaders, influencers. You can hire or engage some freelance influencers as well, and ask them to give answers to those FAQs. Once you have these FAQs and answers with you, you can create autoresponders across social networks. So irrespective of the digital marketing channel or medium the questions are being asked at, as and when the questions are being asked, your team has a response to that. You have already created autoresponders. Okay, so if you are working, let's say you're managing the Facebook presence of your business, somebody asks you a question, the order was not placed. You cannot say somebody from our technical support team or some other team will connect with you in 6 hours or 1 day or 2 days. No, for consumers, for prospects, you represent your business. They want answers, they want it right, they want it now. You have to give them. So perform an in-depth competitive research, identify the consumer sentiment, the FAQs they ask. You can also connect with consumer-facing teams like sales, marketing, tech support, customer support, okay? And then create this exhaustive list of FAQs, get answers from in-house experts, I'd create these autoresponders on your website through, chatbots across social networks using messengers. So this is a, this positions you as a very proactive and customer-centric brand. And further, not only helps in driving brand loyalty as just shared by my colleague from NIIT, it also helps you drive brand advocacy. So this is the ideal goal that most brands try to achieve, all right? So it's modern day digital marketing, modern day marketing. It's not like where the consumer journey or the funnel ends at the sales stage. Okay, so people arrive on your website for the first time, that is awareness. They learn about your brand, product and services, considering, basically they're considering whether to do business with you or not. Some of them leave the journey, some of them proceed and make a purchase. Now, your relationship with them should not end there. It should not be, like that short-term affairs. It's more of a long-term commitment, like a marriage. So you want to convert all these customers, basically you want to retain them, convert them to brand loyalists, where they are not even considering any other brand or alternate product. And then you want to convert these brand loyalists to brand advocates, where they start recommending you across to their extended network of friends, colleagues, peers in the industry. Okay, these recommendations, endorsements, where they share your posts, your tweets, information about your product and services, they review, they act as third-party validation. Okay, because this is not coming from your company, this is coming from somebody's friend, relative, colleague. And this, again, initiates the loop, starts the, drives a lot of positive traffic, high quality referral traffic back to the top of the funnel. All right, so again, without spending a penny. So this is the earned media, people endorsing you, driving brand advocacy. This is your ultimate goal. This you can easily do using these social publishing tools. So let me come back to Hootsuite. Now, our competitors, we are keeping an eye on what type of campaigns our competitors are running. So I'm going to go ahead and click Get Started. And then the first thing I would do is go to the search option of Twitter. Okay, I'll click search, and this is where I have created a list of some competitors over here. So for example, this is Dine Out India. So I'll just paste in Dine Out India's Twitter handle, and I can see all the posts being published by Dine Out India, as well as all the tweets where they are being tagged. Okay, so I can keep an eye on the consumer sentiment. What comments consumers are tweeting? Are they satisfied with their services or not? Are they satisfied with the kind of brands or, restaurant they are promoting or not? Likewise, I'll create a couple of more streams for Swiggy, Zomato. You can also, by the way, use hashtags, popular hashtags from your industry, and see what conversations people are having around these hashtags, which reference to a particular topic, obviously. So I'll use Zomato, and then I'll quickly jump to a few popular fast food chains. So all this information can help me build my digital marketing strategy, all this competitive research, and so through these social listening tools. So let's add in Barbecue Nation as well. And let me add a couple more. Smokehouse Delhi. And one more. Let's add Easy Diner. Now Easy Diner is more like a platform. So now I'll get some creative inspiration on what type of campaigns, both organic and paid, my competitors are running across social. And this information I can pass on to my digital marketing team, my content team, and we can build better, as well as product development team. So we can create better products, better services, better experiences, better platforms. And then also if there's a opportunity gap or market gap, users are consumers or prospects, they're trying to identify basis their needs and requirements. They need a certain functionality or a certain type of a dish. Okay, you can pass on all that information to the development team. They can create those kind of products, those kind of experiences, and you would enjoy a first mover advantage because that's something you build over the technology or marketing gap. Okay, so likewise, I'm also going to go ahead and create a new board. This time, I'll call it our opportunities.
Professor Chaturvedi, in the interest of time, you'll have to wrap in about a couple of minutes, please.
Sure, I'll do that. So now in our opportunities section, I seem to have a query. Okay, so our opportunities, this is a section basically where you would be, keeping an eye on all the popular hashtags. Now there are multiple hashtag platforms. So you can just go to any of these platforms and type in a hashtag, something like foodie, and they will suggest you some other popular hashtags over here that you can use on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook while publishing. So just go ahead and click some of these, a keyword or a search query like foodie, and they will basically provide you, give you a list of other hashtags that you can use. So for example, over here, I'm typing in few hashtags, and then I'll get all the list of related hashtags that I can use in my posts across social networks. You can also visit websites like Pinterest, search for some popular these hashtags. You'll get great infographics, a lot of creative inspiration. You can use them across your brand pages, across your blog, share them. And also don't forget to submit them across these popular social bookmarking websites, which have high domain authority. If you just submit your posts over here, your blog posts, your social posts, it would help increase your organic search rankings because they have a high domain authority. So all this we will be covering in our digital marketing program. NIIT covers in the digital marketing program. Okay, so this is where I think I would be wrapping up because we have limited time. And I would like to pass on to NIIT to take it further from here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Apurv.
Yes, sir.
For the wonderful presentation. And I am sure that our attendees have benefited a lot and they have learned like how to increase the organic search requests, how to create brand advocates, how to create earned media, and how to do competition research to track the competitors, to track organic and paid campaigns, to track consumer sentiment. Thanks a lot, Apurv. Now we can straight go to the questions. Kushal, would you be please sharing the
just
deck?
1 second? Yeah, you'll have to give me the right to share. Just 1 second. Yeah.
All panelists.
Yeah, you'll have to give me the right to share. Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So let's have a couple of questions more. And as I said in the last round, so you will get a limited time to answer to these questions. Some of these questions may have a single answer, some may have a multi choice. So let us quickly begin. Kushal, let's go to the next slide. So the question is, can your business succeed without any digital marketing, such as website, email, social media, digital advertisements, etc.? And please select only one answer. And you have got only a few seconds to respond. So please respond quickly.
Sayan, you may want to read out the options, please.
Yeah. And the options are, the first option is my business does not need digital marketing. The second option is my business needs digital marketing. And the third option is I don't want to start a business. You need to you need to submit your answers a lot more quickly. Whereas the others, only I can see only 55% have voted.
All right, let's move on, Shayan, in the interest of time.
So coming to the next question, I hope that we'll see much better responses here. And how digital marketing can help your business. You can select more than one option. And the options are, number one, get more customers. Number two, create a brand. Number three, always be connected with my customers. And the fourth option is, I don't want to start business. So let's quickly hear your answers. And as I've said, you can select more than one option. So, okay, let's go to the next question. Uh, so if you have to take your business digital, what will you do? And please select only one answer. And the options are, I will sign up my business in Amazon or Flipkart. The second option is, I will hire a digital marketing agency. The third option is, I will develop my own digital marketing skills. And the fourth option is, I don't want to start a business. So let's quickly hear your answers. We need to have lot of energy to answer these questions. Let's go to the next question. If you have to do an online digital marketing course, what will you choose? Please select only one answer. And the options are, part-time online course spread across 24 weeks or 6 months, full-time online course spread across 12 weeks or 3 months. I don't want to do digital marketing course, though I want to start business. And the fourth option is, I don't want to start a business and I don't want to do a course. So let's have the responses very quickly. And we can we need to see lot more persons to respond to these questions. Let's quickly go to the next question, please. And this question is, 9 out of 10 new businesses fail. So if someone can reduce the chance of failure of your business by more than half, how much will you pay him? And please select only one answer. The options are rupees 50,000 to rupees 1 lakh. The second option is rupees 1 lakh to rupees 1.5 lakh. The third option is whatever it takes. And the fourth option is I don't want to start a business. So let's quickly submit our answers. Okay. Thanks for your answers. And now I invite Kushal to say a few words on how NIIT can help aspiring entrepreneurs like you to develop digital marketing competencies. Over to you, Kushal.
Thank you so much, Shayan. And thank you all here for spending the last 1.5 hours being so attentive. We still have 60% people who are participating in the polls. That's great. And again, by looking at your answers, I can see that there are a lot of people who want to start their own businesses and who are eager to understand how they can increase the chances of success and cut down on the possibilities of failure. So giving you a brief about what we at NIIT do, I hope all of you would have heard about us sometime or the other in your life. We are a 38-year-old organization. We've spent the last close to 4 decades training around 2 million people in the IT industry. When India became an IT outsourcing hub, we played a very important role trying to ensure that talent does not become a problem in the success of the Indian IT industry. And what we feel today with the government focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat, the government focusing on Skill India, the government focusing on Digital India, we feel it
It's hi all. It seems there is a technical snag on.
Yeah, it appears that there's some kind of a technical snag at Kushal's end. Anyway, I think this is a good time to figure out what it is that I think two of you guys, one was, I think, Tanya, wanted to say. So, Tanya, what it is that you wanted to say, please ask what you wanted to ask while we are waiting for Kushal to join. You were raising your hand for a while. Tanya, you are online now. You can speak. You have to unmute yourself to speak. Oh, you raised your hand by mistake. Okay, got that. Okay. So I think Sumit also had some, he had raised his hand. I'm wondering what it is that he wanted to say. Sumit, did you also raise your hand by mistake, or did you actually want to say something? In case you want to say something, by mistake, is it? All right. Looks like, all right. So, not sure what happened to Kushal. Maybe you can, Sayan, you can put the slides up and I can very quickly talk about it in the interest of time, because we have a bunch of questions also which we need to.
Yeah, sure, Ron.
All righty. You can make it full screen. Yeah. And you'll have to drive it. I can talk through
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Okay, so just very quickly, the way this particular program, is designed, mostly programs are, oh, Kushal is back. Okay. Bring Kushal on, Sayan. In the meantime, I'll just quickly cover ground. So the
Yeah.
key thing to understand is that this particular program is not a theoretical program. Okay. So at the end of this program, you guys will be sort of having all the necessary requisite properties, so to speak, to drive your own business. You'll have a website, you will have your digital marketing strategy in place, you will have your leads in place, you'll have your customers in place, etc. So the idea is not to sort of give you some gyan, but the idea is to sort of get you ready to launch your business. So during the course of that process of setting up, there'll be series of workshops. So that's really the key thing. Sayan, have you made Kushal panelist again? Kushal,
Yeah,
can
yes.
you take control? Otherwise, you can just ask Sayan to keep moving forward.
Sayan, you can just,
So no, you present.
I present. Okay.
In the interest of time, we're running out of time, so we need to move quickly now.
Just 1 second. Shine, can you do that? 1 second. Okay. Oh, I'll do it.
All right. These are interesting
my screen,
times
guys.
with people dropping off
Yeah, we
in
can,
the digital space. All right, let's move.
Perfect, guys. So yeah, as we were talking, we are a 38-year-old organization, and we feel it's a responsibility to help young people like you develop the skills to not just be a good digital marketer, but to ensure that you don't fail in your businesses, you are successful in whatever business, whatever venture you do. And in order to do that, we are trying to launch a course which is very unique, which is not, which can't be compared to any of the existing programs in the industry right now. We don't want to offer any kind of theoretical knowledge to you. We don't want to burden you with theoretical understanding, theoretical learning. Our program is going to be a series of workshops, wherein each workshop will help you reach a certain milestone in your business. We want to ensure that by the end of this program, each student, each participant of the cohort has real business assets. We want you to have your business website. It's not just a website with your name on it and a catalog of your offerings. We want you to have a website which has the offering that everybody can dynamically view your products and services. They can actually make orders on your website. You can actually do financial transactions on your website. You can actually ensure that any products and services which you provide are being able to be delivered to the customer. So that's a fully functional business website. We want you to generate your first active leads from the website. We want you to have a list of potential customers coming in through the campaigns that we teach you how to run. We also want you to have your first 5 customers, paid customers, by the end of the program, so that you can take it up from there and you can just scale it up. We want you to, by the end of the program, that you should be able to devise your marketing strategy and you can implement it immediately. It is not something that we'll teach you and then you'll spend the next 6 months doing it by yourself. By the end of the program, you'll have a functional marketing strategy which will be in complete sync with your business strategy. We also understand that if we are trying to help you people become entrepreneurs and you come from a great trade school, you should also be trained in business and soft skills, which are very important for you to become successful entrepreneurs.
Now, how do you have to be slightly louder? For some reason, your voice is a little faint. So you can just amplify your volume only.
Okay, sure. Is it better now?
Yes.
Now, how do we plan to do what we are telling you to do? By you looking at somebody else doing it for you. The entire program, the entire set of exercises will be done by each participant in the cohort. The website functionality will be built by you. The transactional capability will be built by. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, why don't you switch off your video, Kushal? That way the audio quality will be better.
Okay, sure. Sure. And as I was telling you, you will build the website functionalities by yourself. The entire transactional capabilities will be built by yourself. All the campaigns will be designed, launched, and monitored by you yourself. We will just ensure that people who are teaching you are not just academicians. They are actual practitioners, because we understand that we don't want somebody to teach you who spent the last 20 years just teaching. We want people to teach you who have one leg in the industry and one leg in the classroom, and they're able to give you a best of both worlds. By the end of the program, or in the course of the program, we want you to have key milestones. Something like you being able to independently generate your first 100 leads. You yourself being independently able to get your 5 first paid customers on board. By the end of the program, as we mentioned, we want you to have digital assets. Assets are those things which keep paying you in the future. We want you to have a functional business website. We want you to have an SEO enabled website. We want you to have certain marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing campaigns live and running. We want you to have a strong digital marketing strategy. We want you to be in control of using the digital marketing tools by which you can design, launch, and monitor your campaigns. Now, why do we expect young entrepreneurs like you to do that? Because we understand the fact कि यार लोगों को जब digital marketing is not something which is out of bounds for people, but still maximum number of people don't get a substantial benefit out of it, because it costs money. You'll have to keep somebody who will do it for you. You'll have to hire an agency who will charge you 50,000 rupees a month to do it for you. You might do it for a month, you might do it for 2 months, but you'll not be able to do it consistently because it will be an added cost to you. That is why we feel कि अगर हम आपको वो skills दे सकें, so that you can yourself do those things and never be deprived of the benefits of being on the digital space. These are the financial benefits. Every month that you spend in your business and you do such things, you'll save around 30 to 50,000 rupees that you'll pay to an agency to do it for you. And the agency will not have the passion and the interest which you have. So they'll do a shoddy job in most cases. When you do it yourself, you'll do a very holistic, thorough, and religious job for your own business. There are a lot of non-financial benefits also. As I was mentioning, you will be independent. You will be Atmanirbhar. Your success and your failure will be in your hand and not would be dependent on other digital marketing agencies. You will get hands-on experience. So even later in life, when your business grows to become a very big business and you hire marketing agencies to work for you, they'll not be able to fool you at that point of time. Your marketing strategy will not be governed by the consultant who's for an agency who has their own vested interest to forward. Your marketing strategy, your expenditure will all be aligned to your business strategy. कितना पैसा खर्चना है, कहाँ खर्चना है. Not that अगर किसी को आपके लिए social media campaign चला के ज़्यादा पैसा बचता है, तो आपको वो suggest कर दे. Your marketing strategy should give you the best results. That's what we want from trade schools across the country, and firstly and foremost from the IHM Pusta Road campus. We want to start this pilot from you. We want to ensure that people from this campus who are graduating become Atmanirbhar, are able to launch and sustain successful businesses by themselves and become, guiding lights for the upcoming batches as well as other trade schools across the country. If in the next 3 to 4 years, we are able to help different trade schools benefit from this, we as NIIT will feel that we have fulfilled our purpose of being in the training industry for the last 4 decades. So that's essentially what we want to do. We want to train you, as I mentioned, on ensuring that you have a functional website which is SEO enabled. You are able to put search engine marketing strategies. You are able to run social media campaigns. You want to make an optimal digital marketing portfolio. You don't want it to be lopsided on one end. We also want you to learn business skills. Business plan कैसे बनाया जाता है? कितना expenditure होना चाहिए हर revenue marketing dollar के लिए? हर revenue dollar ke liye? What should be your projection skills? How should you raise money if you want to raise money? And a lot of other skills. We want to teach you how to write emails. We want to teach you how to talk to your customer, how to teach your subordinates to talk to your customers, how to manage your customers, and how to become a rock star entrepreneur. That's all from our end. Just wanted to ask you in the chat box, how many of you would be interested in joining this program? Because the management of IHM Pusa and be able to understand that should we launch it, should IHM Pusa will be the flagship batch for this program. We just want to understand how many of you would probably want to be a part of this course if we decide to launch it.
All right. In the interest of time, I think while you guys are saying yes or raising your hand or whatever, I would request that we move to the next section, which is the Q&A, and I would request Sayan to field, all the questions which have been posted. Let's just get started so that you can only, Sayan, share the questions.
Sure, Ron. The first question that has come is, as an entrepreneur, why do I myself need to have digital marketing skills?
So please provide the answer also yourself.
And the answer is that as we have seen in the webinar, like digital marketing has become a critical aspect for any business. As an entrepreneur, if you do not have hands-on expertise in digital marketing tools and techniques, then as Kushal explained, you will have to depend on third parties, such as digital marketing agencies. In that case, you will not only have to pay them around 25,000 to 45,000 per month, you will have no way to ensure that your digital marketing strategy is aligned with your overall business strategy. So what it will lead to? It will lead to some kind of suboptimal results, despite you paying hefty sums to the digital marketing agencies. You will become like a passive investor who invests in mutual funds year after year, but who has no idea about how his money is being invested and whether his money is fetching him the maximum returns or not. So I think I've answered that question.
Yes,
Now,
you have answered the question. I like the answer. I just need for you to be much louder, like 50% more loudly. So maybe you can shout out the answer more. So read out
yeah,
whatever the next question that has come. And also I'd request you to read the next answer or say the next answer.
yeah, sure. And the next question is like, how is your program different from digital marketing programs of other institutes? Now, this is a very interesting question. And as it has just been explained, like our program is distinct from any other digital marketing program in the following ways. Like this is the only digital marketing program that aims to enable aspiring entrepreneurs with digital marketing skills. The digital marketing programs offered by other institutes, they are not targeted at emerging entrepreneurs like you. The second distinction is, unlike the other programs that are mostly theory driven, our program is totally hands-on. That is, you will acquire practical skills in digital marketing. The third distinction, by the end of the program, you will have real digital marketing assets. You will have an SEO-enabled business website through which you can do e-commerce transactions. You will have your first set of leads, and you will have a customized marketing strategy that you can immediately implement and which will be aligned with your overall business strategy. And the fourth point, and which is a very important point, is we do not just teach you digital marketing skills. We also teach you business skills. Just as Kushal explained, we will teach you how to make a business plan, how to make a business strategy. We will also teach you the soft skills such as business communications and customer management. And all of this will ensure that you will succeed in your entrepreneurial journey.
All right. Thank you so much, Shayan. I think there is another question that Pranjul Gaur has raised. It is hiring another digital marketing company be a disadvantage? I think this was answered. I mean, basically, if you rely on an external entity, you have to pay anything between 25,000 rupees to about 45,000 rupees to these kinds of entities. And it's a continuous, payout from your pocket, whether you're paying per performance or whether you're paying, a retainer fee or whatever, but it's a continuous drag. The other thing is, आपका धंधा है, कोई और अगर सीख जाएगा उसके बारे में, you will not get the benefit. It's like how Sayan was saying, if you go into the stock market and only rely on a mutual fund, the fund is being run by some fund managers, तो उनको तो stock market समझ में आ जाएगा, पर आप बहुत सालों तक रहोगे उसके अंदर में, but you'll still not be able to understand. So let's say 1 year down the road, you are paying money to the digital marketing company, उसको सब समझ में आ रहा है, पर you are where you were earlier. You don't know how to strategize next. So it's very important that you become Atmanirbhar. So that's the disadvantage you will have if you just merely rely on a digital marketing company. Maybe if you're making a few tens of crores and you know how to run the thing, then you can hire a digital marketing company and say that, boss, do this or do that, etc. But you need to understand ki karna kya hai, varna you are like puppet in their hands. There's another question which says that being from a non-tech background, how can I improve my skill set so as to grab offers from digital marketing firms? Well, if you want to join digital marketing firms, they will basically look for your end-to-end understanding, all those 5 aspects that, from discoverability to, brand loyalty that Kushal spoke about. So if you understand the end-to-end and if you know the relevant technologies and tools in that, that is what you need to know. Technology right now is not like coding. You don't actually have. So if you can use Facebook, if you can use LinkedIn, if you can use your regular, typical Microsoft Office products and things like that, you will be able to have the sufficient technology understanding that you can utilize to sort of run these. There are lots of tools which have got the inbuilt capability. So you don't have to sort of understand Java programming, or backend programming to understand all of this. You would just need to understand end-to-end and all the relevant tools, like some of them Professor Chaturvedi was showing to you. So that's the answer to that particular question. Now, since some of you brave hearts have, stayed till this particular point, I think for all those who are here, there's at least 170 of you who are here, I can see. There'll be a quick quiz, and that quiz will have 5 questions, and we will basically gauge aapko kitna mila. Okay, so be ready to participate in the quiz. Abhi jana nahi, because the quiz will have bearing on what we may have to offer to you. All right.
So the first question is, how TCNS or W Store grew tremendously from 2017 to 2021? Please select one option. They added more stores. The second option is they implemented digital marketing strategy. The third option is they gave huge discounts. Please submit your answers quickly. Let's go to the next one. So which digital marketing technique will ensure that your website is always displayed on top of Google search results? Please select one option. The first option is search engine optimization, SEO. The second option, social media marketing, SMM. And the third option is customer relationship management, CRM. So let's have your answers quickly. Great. Let's go on to the next question. To succeed as an entrepreneur, what skills do you need? And please select one option. The first option, digital marketing skills. Second option, business skills. Third option, soft skills. And fourth option is all of the above. And we'll have to move on to the next question. How can you engage with your customers? Please select one option. The first option is email messages. The second option, mobile messages. Third option, social media campaigns. And fourth option is all of the above. And we can now move on to the next question. How digital marketing can help your business? Please select one option. The first option is create discoverability. Second option, create brand awareness. Third option, generate leads. Fourth option, generate customer engagement. Fifth option, create brand loyalty. And the last option is all of the above. So let's quickly hear from all of you. So great.
Fantastic. I am requesting, I think, Professor Meenakshi, I have brought you back again. If you wanted to say something, we will just summarize the session very quickly, and post that I would request you, Professor Meenakshi. Those of you who are there in this session, and it's certainly more than 160, 170 people, it's good to see all of you being there in this particular session. Very quickly, to summarize what we spoke about today, we spoke firstly about why entrepreneurial thinking is extremely important today. You know, today is the day where, not only because of COVID, even otherwise, you know, this COVID phase after the vaccinations hopefully will be over and things will be back, but the entrepreneurial mindset will remain. And, you know, this era of digital entrepreneurship will be there. You know, in 2020s, we'll have 5G, you know, coming in. It'll revolutionize the world. It'll revolutionize the digital world. So all of you, you know, I mean, obviously you may have learned specific things in culinary arts in terms of, or you may have learned bakery or patisserie. You may have, you know, learned, you know, various other aspects of hotel management, front office operations, you know, aspects of, you know, housekeeping and things like that. But very, very important is for you to know that entrepreneurship, especially in the digital sphere, is very important. That's the key point I want for you guys to just remember. The second is that there are challenges in entrepreneurship, and it's not true for some and untrue for others. They are there, you know, it's a behavior, you know, it's like different vegetables cook in different kind of temperature, like that. You know, different kinds of endeavors in life have different kinds of challenges. So you can't, you know, cook one vegetable in the same way as the other vegetable, like that. You can't cook endeavor one like another. So there are specific challenges in entrepreneurship as well. Very specifically, one challenge that we have highlighted is the ability to get customers, you know, acquiring customers. So this capability is a very, very major capability that we spoke about. Then we spoke about the story of, you know, an organization which was growing in a nice way. And I'm sure you guys starting a business will also grow in a nice way till a point. And then there is a glass ceiling that it begins to hit. You know, it doesn't grow beyond that point. And then it begins to have a drag because, you know, the costs increase. Costs kabhi kam nahi hote. Costs keep on increasing. Labor cost increases, material cost increases. दाम आप बढ़ा नहीं सकते हो, लोग आपके पास में और आ नहीं रहे हैं. So this whole, you know, W store story was about hockey stick growth kaise karte hain by relying on digital. Then we spoke about how digital marketing are helping in 5 specific ways. इसके बारे में हम लोगों ने बात किया थोड़ा डिटेल में, about improving discoverability, about creating brand awareness, about generating leads, about generating customer engagement, and about creating brand loyalty. And then we spoke about a few tools, you know, which are, you know, there that Professor Chaturvedi spoke about, which are kind of practical application. Maybe you understood some of it, maybe you didn't understand some of it, but those are the kinds of tools which are available. तो आपको बैठ के कुछ invent नहीं करना है. Those tools already exist. If you understand what those tools are, how to use them, the series of those 12-15 tools, if you are able to use, तो आप बहुत आसानी से you will be able to make sure that your website is up, your social strategy is up, आपके customer आने लग जाएंगे, and your product will start selling. You know, there's no real big magic to it. It's just a bunch of strategies of digital marketing that everybody uses. And then we spoke about that in NIIT, we are coming up with a program which is essentially a workshop kind of a program. Historically, the digital marketing programs have been meant for people who will join a digital marketing function. किसी marketing agency में जाके digital marketing function join करने वाली. But this one is meant for entrepreneurs, जिन्होंने कोई और skills है, but they need to know enough to be able to run this business. तो ये एकदम hands-on होगा, and it will be something which will be run in a way where you will have your website, you will have your leads, you will have your customers. You will basically start during the course of the program, see your whole business emerge. तो उसके लिए जो भी technical, functional, behavioral skills आपको चाहिए, those things will be taught to you during this particular thing. And in fact, you will have a product, you will have the launch of your business during the process of the training itself. So that's basically what we have covered today. Now, with that said, in the interest of time, I would request, Professor Meenakshi to say your closing remarks, ma'am. Professor Meenakshi, if you are speaking, you are on mute. Perhaps I will also request Professor Ghai to speak. I don't know why Professor Meenakshi's line is not getting unmuted. Maybe there's a technical snag. Professor Ghai, will you be able to say something in conclusion? Professor Aarti, are you speaking? Because we can't hear you. No, you're not audible. There's perhaps something on your machine, on your laptop. There must be something which is muted. Like maybe some machines have it on F5. उसमें आप देखो function F5 जो होती है उसके अंदर में there's a audio off. आ नहीं रही, आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी. And now you're also muted. I don't see Professor Pant here. So while people are this thing, did you guys enjoy the session? If you did, raise your hand. I want to know if you guys enjoyed the session. मजा आया तो हाथ खड़ा करिए. जो हाथ नहीं खड़े कर रहे उसको मजा नहीं आया, मैं मान लूंगा. कुशल को मजा आया session conduct करने में. All right, looks like half of the people have enjoyed. बाकी लोग सोच रहे हैं enjoy किया है कि नहीं. Meenakshi ma'am or Aarti ma'am, if any one of you are able to unmute your line, that will be great. Aarti ma'am drop off हो गई. All right. Okay. Aarti ma'am, you are audible. You are now audible. Fantastic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ron, and thank you, Mr. Kashyap, Mr. Kushal Kashyap, and Mr. Chaturvedi for all your gyan and all your the pathway that you have shown to all our students here regarding how digital marketing can be, put up into being entrepreneur. And very soon we are looking forward to some students joining back to you at NIIT with the same thought process that they will be able to learn many more things and will be able to handle this difficult situation of pandemic and will be able to do their business well. So, thank you, the team members. I would like to thank Mr. Pant, the faculty members who have joined in, the IT team members from the IHM and all the students. That's all from my side, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Ghai. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you for all members of the faculty who have joined. Thank you so much for all the students who have joined from various different streams, from BSc and MSc and one-year programs, etc. Truly delighted to have come in touch with each one of you. Wish you all the very best in what lies ahead. They say when the times are tough, the tough get going. So the times are tough, and I'm sure each and every one of you tough guys are going to start going. And consider entrepreneurship, consider digital marketing, consider having a fantastic business so that you can be Atmanirbhar. Thank you so very much, guys, and it was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So Kushal, if you want, you can also drop off. And once the last of the participants leave, then Sayan will also log off.
Yeah, yes. Thanks, Kushal.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.